must be, will be ensuring Social Security and Medicare. Now, how did that turn into boldly setting aside our partisan blinders? Is the White House considering new options?
Look.
Like raising the retirement age?
Abby.
And how did school uniforms get in such a prominent spot?
It was in a section on education reform, Abby, and considering other options doesn't mean we're caving on the retirement age, and you know it, so what was your concern with the language?
The draft said our commitment to the full benefits promised to America's greatest generation is absolute. I was there when you wrote that.
And our commitment is still absolute. We're open to new ideas, and that's what it said.
Oh, please.
Believe me.
Look at me. Do you think there is any way I catch up to this guy if his leg isn't fractured already?
Your record when you were invited here.
I just assumed. I mean, because of what happened over the weekend at the elementary school?
Yeah.
I assumed, you know, that it was okay now, that I was okay. I didn't think it was going to all come up again. Does the press know?
No, but I have to tell them.
Why?
Because they'll find out and I have to stay ahead of the pitch. If I issue it in a brief statement, then it doesn't look like we're trying to hide anything and I get to control the story for a while.
There is no story.
Officer...
The DA couldn't bring a case. The civil suit was dismissed.
The president pointed to you as an example.
I am that example.
It's a story.
Because you're giving it to them.
Because they'll find it anyway.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
My wife and kids are back at the party.
You should go back there.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody about this.
Yeah.
I wish you'd said something to us before.
Yeah. I just assumed. Thought it was okay now.
Okay. Good news. The Potomac Electric Power Company says the outage was caused by a 13,000-volt cable that caught fire in a building on N Street in Wisconsin.
How is that good news?
Well, we have hard information now.
When's the power going back on?
That information isn't available at this time.
Donna.
I can tell you that the outage is affecting some 2,000 customers, and it was likely started when a repairman misspliced something.
Call Sam. I want the numbers!
You know, Josh, everybody else is having fun with this.
You're the only one who's having fun with this. Nobody else is having fun with this.
How you doing?
Are those numbers safe?
Yes.
Are we going to be able to make the West Coast calls?
It depends when the power goes on.
When's that going to be?
Right.
Do I look like Electricity Girl?
No.
I'm thinking of leading everybody in song.
Is that Sam?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Sam.
What's going on?
The power's down.
I know.
We're 5 minutes away from an East Coast sample. We got nothing west of Indiana, Illinois.
You need anything?
A lightning bolt, a key, and a kite.
Donna told me to tell you should ask out Joey Lucas.
Hey, can I tell you, Donna's been acting kind of...
I gotta go.
We're in. Sir.
How's it going?
They lost power at National Strategies.
I heard.
Well done, Mr. President.
Thank you. Listen, you scored big on some of the stuff I fought you on.
Yes, and I know a way you can repay me.
Repay you for what?
For you being wrong in the face of me being right.
I owe you money for that?
Oh, not money, sir.
I owe you anything for that?
Great job, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Ainsley Hayes has been working here for 3 months, and she's still a little frightened of meeting you. If you should happen to run into her in the halls, maybe you could make a point of introducing yourself and welcoming her personally.
Don't you already get paid?
Randomly in the hallways in the next few days, you two are bound to be in the same place at the same time. I'm just saying, Mr. President.
Hang on. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to say?
I think if you said something along the lines of, you know, a lot of people assumed you were hired because you were a blonde Republican sex kitten. They were obviously wrong. And to keep up the good work.
That's really good.
Yeah, Mr. President. Yeah.
Mr. President.
What's going on with the police officer?
CJ's looking into it.
We're going to get knocked off the story by a
The cop isn't what's going to knock us off the story.
What is?
We have a situation in Colombia.
They can be identified as drug agents?
They're dressed as civilians, but they've got DEA badges.
Yeah, they may have blown their cover.
Sir.
Mickey, how do we know they're still alive?
Human sources paid by the Colombian National Police confirm they're in a CRF outpost.
And they kill our guys unless Santos releases Juan Aguilar from a prison in Bogota.
Which the Colombian government isn't going to do.
It doesn't matter.
Why not?
The Frente doesn't care about Juan Aguilar and how long he stays in jail. They want to kill these guys.
I don't
They
think...
want to drag their bodies through the streets. These people provide 70% of the world's cocaine. They have 122,000 hectares of coca. The Putumayo region alone produced $400 million in cocaine for them last year. The government has no control over the region. There is no law, and they're going to shoot these guys in the head and then have a parade.
If they wanted to kill him, they'd already be dead.
Robbie.
Okay, Mr. President, this plan is called Cassiopeia. 3 M860 Blackhawks, 2 M86 Little Birds, and an AC-130 gunship.
Each Blackhawk has 10 Delta Commandos from Special Forces.
How long?
5 to 7 minutes.
How many Frente casualties?
Do you care?
No.
Mr. President, I want to strongly urge that we continue negotiating.
You think we're headed for Vietnam?
I think if we make an armed attack, the Frente will hit back.
How?
I think they'll bomb our embassy. I think they will kill diplomats. I think they'll kill citizens in captivity. All of which will require a military response. It could unify the drug lords. It could destabilize the region. Yes, I think it could lead to a war.
Lead to a war? We're in a war. We're sending people down there to fight a war on drugs. Those guys aren't hostages. They're prisoners.
How long is it going to take Special Forces to mobilize?
They're in 141s right now on the way to Tres Encinas. You can give them a go order in 3 hours.
Well then, I want our people to keep talking to Nelson Guerra. But in 3 hours, I want to be ready to kick in the back door.
Yes, sir.
Leo, I'd like the senior staff. Would you round them up?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be wandering the halls.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
You know what I'm surprised about?
What?
We haven't seen a lot of looting.
Yeah.
Usually in these cases, you see a lot more looting.
Yeah.
General civil unrest.
Yeah.
People get on each other's nerves.
Okay.
Joey? Can I ask you what may be a silly question?
Sure.
It's not possible, is it, for us to just open up one of these computers with a screwdriver and get the numbers that are in there, right?
Why did you think that'd be a silly question?
I want these numbers!
Josh.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, you gotta come back. I don't know. Leo wants everybody back. Leave Joey and Donna for a while.
I'll be right there.
Ginger?
Yeah,
Isn't Ainsley Hayes supposed to be meeting me now?
she's in her office.
Isn't she supposed to be meeting me here?
She needs to meet you in her office.
Why?
She can't wear her pants.
Blame it on the boss and the
his ass.
What's up?
Mr. President.
I never even knew we had a nightclub down here.
Oh my God.
Mr. President, I don't believe that you've met Ainsley Hayes.
Yeah, Ainsley. I wanted to say hello and to mention, you know, a lot of people assumed you were hired because you were a blonde Republican sex kitten, and, well, they're obviously wrong. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
You know we're meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That could have been worse. No, probably not.
And take us behind the scenes. What are the President and First Lady doing right now?
Well, the reception's still going on. I don't know if you can hear the music. And President and Mrs. Bartlett are likely to stay up late with friends.
All right, we're staying up late too. Maybe we'll get invited to the party. We're gonna take a break and come right back. We're out.
Hey, hold on.
You got a second?
Yeah.
I've laid off it all night because we've done some things together and I didn't want to ambush you. But
You know that's,
yeah.
Mark.
CJ.
Mark, I've talked to the guy, and before the stampede begins, please give me a chance.
CJ?
Let me talk to you before...
CJ? Liam McGarry would like you to meet an old friend of his.
Mark, give me 20 minutes before you break the story.
Why?
We've done things together.
I'm looking at my watch.
Hey. Hey.
You said you were in here.
Yeah, just for a minute.
Fellas. You're mad at me.
Jed, you know what? I'm not your mommy.
Abby, so I indicated we were open to new ideas. How did I fail you this time?
You didn't fail anybody, Jed. They've been giving you some pretty decent style points.
I have a meeting.
At what point in the process did you decide not to mention the Violence Against Women Act in tonight's address?
Things had to be cut.
Jane Robinson, by the way, is the name of the woman I made the check out to. It wasn't cash because she framed it. Charlie tracked her down at a battered women's shelter. That's what made me think about the Violence Against Women's Act.
To make a 90-minute speech into an 80-minute speech, things had to go.
It's a good thing it didn't have to be any shorter, or school uniforms might not have made the cut.
Abby.
We had a deal.
Right now.
We made a promise. You made a deal.
Abby.
When did you decide you were going to run for a second term?
That's not what tonight's...
That's all that tonight's speech was about. You kicked off your re-election campaign, and I'm sitting here eating a sandwich because we had a deal.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I have special forces headed to Colombia on ready alert. They'll be ready for an order in a little less than 3 hours.
What happened?
The Frente took 5 DEA agents in Putumayo.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
The senior staff's together.
I'll be right there.
Yes, sir.
Abby.
No. You gotta focus right now.
All right. I've got to go.
I'll stay up with you.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're here live tonight from the West Wing of the White House with an all-star panel, and we're talking about the State of the Union. And it appears that it's a blockbuster. Claire Willem joins us now from the Chicago Sun-Times.
President.
It was just 3 hours ago I gave the State of the Union.
Yeah.
You believe that?
What are you doing? It's freezing out here.
I'm not allowed to smoke inside anymore.
I thought you were allowed to do pretty much whatever you want.
Up to the point where you accidentally burn holes in priceless antiques.
You should stop smoking.
Why?
You'll live longer.
I smoke 2 cigarettes a day.
It's a bad example.
For who? Russian spy satellites? George Bernard Shaw said you don't live longer, it just seems longer.
I'm not sure it was Shaw.
I'm not sure it was either. Is it time?
Yeah.
Where are we? Sir, a C-141 with 2 Delta Force teams has been in the air for 85 minutes.
Tell me what happens when I give the order.
They'll enter Colombian airspace.
At the same time, a 19-man unit, Special Forces Alpha team that's already on the ground at Trace Encinas will head to Villa Sereno.
What do they do when they get there?
They'll hike 11 miles into the jungle and hold still.
Why?
It'll be daylight by then.
19 guys are going to have to lie face down in the jungle till sunset?
That's when the hostages are going to be moved.
And that's when we go.
They're moving the hostages from where to where?
From the Tasco outpost to the Frente Command Center.
On foot?
Yeah. 10.7 kilometers down the road, there's a plateau called Mesa del Oro. That'll give the Deltas maximum maneuverability.
Code name's Cassiopeia.
Yes, sir.
Mickey, you look like you want to say something.
Yes, Mr. President, I think you should wait.
For what?
To see how negotiations continue with Guerra.
Guerra wants Aguilar out of a Colombian prison. Are there any other circumstances under which he's going to give these hostages back?
Possibly.
Crap.
We know if we keep talking, we're not running the risk of these hostages getting shot during the rescue.
What difference does it make if they're shot during a rescue or at Frente Command at Villa Sereno?
I believe we can keep them alive longer if we let them be taken to Villa Sereno.
Are we going to keep them alive longer, or is it just going to seem longer?
Sir?
I've been given reason to believe they'll be tortured at Villa Sereno. They're U.S. drug agents. They know things these people want to know.
Sir, the C-141's approaching Colombian airspace.
Go.
Tonight's State of the Union contained 8,747 words. It was second in length only to his inaugural address and 75 minutes longer than Washington's first address to Congress.
Officer Sloan, would you be willing to go on television tomorrow?
If they knew how many words there were.
And the speech?
Yeah.
About 8,700?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to go on TV?
I think I'd really rather just go home.
This is going to be a part of the news cycle by tomorrow night, whether you go home or not.
And how do you know that?
Roughly the same way I knew there were 8,700 words in the speech. I have some experience at this.
What'll happen?
You'll do a very quick satellite interview. What was it like being at the State of the Union? Did you meet the president? It was a thrill and an honor. Talk about your act of heroism that brought you to the attention of the White House. Well, I wouldn't really call it heroism, but now I understand you had some trouble back in the early 80s. I'm glad I have a chance to talk about that. And you tell your story just like you told it to me.
Do I wear my uniform?
Coat and tie. Carol?
Yeah.
Would you make sure Officer Sloan gets back to his hotel?
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all our guests tonight. Henry Shalleck, David Satch, Toby Ziegler, Bob Woodward, Jeff Greenfield,
C.J. Craig, and of course the White House for allowing us to broadcast live on this historic night. You've been watching a special expanded edition of Capitol Beat. I'm Mark Gottfried.
Have a good night.
We're out. Great job, everybody.
You said 20 minutes.
I was called in for a meeting.
It's now 40 minutes.
Called in for a
At
meeting.
midnight?
It's not midnight everywhere in the world, Mark.
What's the story?
He's innocent.
You just decided?
No, a grand jury, a DA, and a civil court judge decided 17 years ago. Nobody brought charges, and the civil suit was dismissed.
Then why on his
The
record?
Detroit Police Department cited him for excessive force to calm down the black community. It was a robbery. They were climbing through windows and jumping over walls. The guy's leg was already fractured when Sloan got there. He's going to do your show tomorrow morning.
Is he doing everybody else's show, too?
No,
Why not?
because you waited 40 minutes.
Hey.
Hey?
Bill Dreyer from Gillette's office called. He wants to have a meeting with you.
Dreyer?
Gillette.
I'll bet he wants a meeting with me.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Toby?
It's not gonna happen. We got enough input from him during the 6 weeks we were writing the thing. I don't need to hear his...
He's very upset.
What? I know. He's
More, I think, than we calculated he was going to be.
We've upset him.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to learn to live with that pain.
Look.
He's not the president of the United States. He's a junior senator from North Dakota where nobody lives. Because it's too cold and they don't have a major sports franchise.
Do I need to lay out the ways in which this man is important to us?
No.
He is adored by the left.
Stop laying out the ways.
He's our link to the environmentalists.
Stop laying out the ways.
Toby, asking for this meeting isn't out of line, and you should take it. In fact, you should take it tomorrow morning at 7:30 at the Hyatt.
You set it up already?
Just the time and place.
And you expect me to explain myself to him?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Fine.
Toby,
CJ?
7:30.
the Post is calling it sleek, challenging, and oftentimes witty, not unlike myself.
Who is Jack Sloan, and why am I just hearing about this now?
Sloan was one of the invited guests. He was the police officer.
The one we stuck in over the weekend?
Yeah.
What happened?
A long time ago, he was cited by the Detroit Police Department for excessive force.
Against the black suspect?
Yeah.
CJ.
Toby.
How was this guy not vetted?
Because he wasn't, because it was last minute.
What are you doing about it?
Mark Godfrey's going to interview him in the morning.
It's a bad idea.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because blacks aren't going to react well to our supporting a brutal cop.
He's not a brutal cop.
Says you.
Says me, a grand jury, 2 judges, the district attorney, and common sense.
CJ.
He's going public anyway, Toby. Godfrey got the story on his own.
Fine. Where's Josh?
He went back to the phone banks.
Is electricity back on?
No.
Then what's he doing there?
Hoping the electricity goes on.
Well, that ought to do it.
Josh.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something about women?
Oh, God. Please don't.
We like to be wooed.
No.
She wants you to ask her out, Josh.
She really doesn't.
You're missing the signs.
I'm really not.
I know a thing or two about the ways of love.
No, you don't.
You're missing the signs.
I'm thinking of firing you.
You fired me twice already tonight. I'm impervious.
Among other things, yeah. Let's pack it in. We'll start over tomorrow night.
Why?
It's already 9:30 in California. The power isn't on. We're missing half the window.
Joey, pack it in.
Folks, we'll start over tomorrow night.
See ya.
Take it easy. Good night.
So you have to wait another day.
I'm not good at waiting.
No kidding.
Donna.
Why do you expect our internal polling to be any different than any other polling? We've got dial groups, we've got CNN, USA Today, we've got Gallup. Why is our poll going to be any different?
We're asking different questions.
I'll get your coat. By the way, right there, back when she said see ya, that was a sign.
You're fired.
Impervious.
Mr. President. Yeah. You understand we've got heating inside, right? This isn't cold, it's crisp. No, it's cold. Well, you're a big mistake. Knight to King 4. It'll leave the bishop open. And you're gonna sacrifice the bishop for the queen's rook. Where? 4 moves down. Abby's pretty pissed at me.
How bad?
Pretty bad. King's Knight 3. You know, I have this image in my mind of the dead soldiers coming back from Vietnam.
Caskets coming off the plane, but I don't know from where.
Television?
The caskets coming off the plane?
No.
Are they down?
Yeah. Delta's landed in Tres Encinas. Alpha moved out and they'll be in Villa Sereno at 0700.
Where they wait?
Yeah.
I'll send them away.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Mrs. Landingham.
Did you ever solve the mystery?
Of the $500 check?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I solved the mystery.
Well, what was it?
I'm a mystery solver.
That's wonderful, sweetie. What was it?
Mrs. Bartlett wrote the check to a woman she read about in the paper, who's now living in a battered women's shelter. You know why the woman never cashed the check?
Because it was from the First Lady and she had it framed instead?
Yep. That was the mystery.
It's a good one. Does the president know he has breakfast with Josh and Sam?
He's on his way. It was a good mystery. I just think you solved it fast because I loosened the catch-up bottle for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I tell you something strange?
Sure.
All last night at the phone banks, Donna was telling me I should ask Joey Lucas out.
You should.
Fine, but that aside, what do you make of Donna being the one pushing?
I don't make any sense. You wouldn't think she'd be jealous? She goes out with guys. Are you jealous?
No. See? I get jealous.
So?
I don't like it and usually do everything within my considerable capabilities to sabotage it.
Yes.
Which is why it's curious that Donna would do nothing to discourage and, in fact, do everything to encourage a date with Joey Lucas, who, quite frankly, is a very attractive woman.
Josh?
Yeah.
You know, your voice just got really high at the end of that.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
Good morning, sir.
thanks for having breakfast with me.
Yes, sir?
Did you order something?
No, sir. We were waiting for you.
Billy? You want scrambled eggs?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Can we get these guys some scrambled eggs?
Yes. Anything for you, sir?
No, I'm fine.
Then we're fine, too.
Yeah. No.
Sir, we're fine.
Bring them some food, would you?
Yes, sir.
You guys understand I can't discuss with you any rescue mission that may or may not be in play right now.
Of course.
I'm assuming State has people negotiating with Nelson Guerra?
Nelson Guerra wants me to tell President Santos to release Juan Aguilar from prison.
I would make that phone call with a gun to my head.
I have a gun to my head, and I'm not making that phone call. I inherited war on drugs from a president who inherited it from a president who inherited it from a president before that. I'm not 100% sure who we're fighting, but I know we're not winning. 10 years ago, we spent $5 billion fighting drugs, and we did such a good job that last year we spent $16 billion. 60% of federal prisoners are in jail on drug charges, as opposed to 2.5% that are there for violent crime. We imprison a higher percentage of our citizens than Russia did under communism and South Africa under apartheid. Somewhere between 50 and 85% of the prison population has a drug or alcohol abuse problem. We've tried, just say no. I don't think it's going to work. I'm mentioning this because I'd like you to give me any thoughts you might have on the subject.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
I came in early.
Bonnie,
I've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
are we releasing the names of the agents? Or are we not releasing them?
Yeah.
You gotta give me another chance.
At what?
At meeting the president.
You met the president last night.
I was wearing a bathrobe.
You sat in paint.
I was singing and dancing.
You were happy.
I threw my drink up in the air.
Yeah, but not that much of it landed on your head.
I looked like an idiot, and it's your fault.
How is it my fault?
You arranged the meeting over my express wishes.
I'm not the one who got you jumping around like Joey Helton.
You have to do something for me.
Arrange another introduction.
You have to arrange another introduction.
Last night you were scared to meet him.
And I'm still scared to meet him, but I'll overcome that in order to erase the humiliation that I've brought upon myself and my father.
You were just in your own little Euripides play over there, aren't you?
Please arrange another introduction.
Fine.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
You should have given me a heads up on the blue ribbon, Toby.
Seth,
You should have given me a heads up.
it happened 5 minutes before the man walked into the house chamber. You're a junior senator from North Dakota, and you don't get script approval on the State of the Union.
Whatever language you may have couched in, it was not an insignificant change.
Seth.
You started off with, we will not cut Social Security, period, and wound up with, we're announcing the formation of a bipartisan blue ribbon commission to study new options with regard to Social Security.
What exactly is the danger in studying new options?
What's the danger in the White House getting behind my reform bill?
Diverting general revenue into the trust funds is not reform.
It's the only Social Security reform bill supported by any Senate Democrats.
How many votes did you get for it last year?
If the White House...
18.
The White House
82 U.S. senators think your reform bill sucks. So unless you have a plan for picking up a majority, I don't know what's so wrong with saying we're open to hearing new ideas.
And compromise essential Democratic Party principles to cut a Social Security deal with the Republicans?
Simply not what we're doing.
If your commission recommends raising the retirement age 1 day, reducing benefits $1, reducing COLAs, if your commission recommends partial privatization of Social Security,
someplace?
I will condemn it as the act of a group intent on destroying Social Security.
And ruling the galaxy.
Oh, you think this is a joke? You think I won't publicly condemn a member of my party?
The president's not a member of your party. He's the leader of your party. And if you think demonizing people who are trying to govern responsibly is the way to protect our liberal base, then speaking as a liberal, go to bed. Would you please?
You're running to the right in the environment.
We admonished environmental terrorism.
Please.
You're in favor of it?
It was a cheap shot. You lost a lot of friends that night.
We made more than we lost.
And then you go on TV this morning with this ridiculous defense of a cop who kicked the crap out of a black kid because you guys don't want to admit you screwed up in the vetting and he never should have been invited in the first place. Seniors, environmentalists, African Americans. You tell me which you think has a greater chance of happening. My reform bill getting passed? Or the president getting reelected without the three groups I just mentioned?
You just named three groups that will never desert the president.
Not unless I run as a third-party candidate, no. Oh, those 18 votes are looking a little bigger now, aren't they, you patronizing son of a bitch?
I was just thinking about this cartoon I once saw. A bunch of tiny fish are swimming through the leaves of a plant, but then one of the fish realizes it's not a plant, it's the tentacles of a predator, and the fish says, with friends like this, who needs anemones? Come at us from the left, and I'm gonna own your ass.
Carrie, if you would have someone in my office for the notes on the noon speech.
Women in the arts?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And would you pack a sweater for the plane?
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie.
Good morning, ma'am. You heading out?
Not till tonight. Chicago, then Seattle.
I wanted to check to see if I had your permission to draw $500 in cash and walk it over to that woman in the shelter.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Hey, good morning, sir. I'll be in the office.
What was that about?
Charlie's gonna bring cash over to Jane Robinson.
You packing already?
Yep.
Not leaving till tonight, right?
Yeah.
Men and women are completely different in this regard.
When was the last time you packed a suitcase at all?
I don't know. I just had breakfast with Sam and Josh. Toby's having breakfast with Seth Gillette, who's every bit as pissed at me as you are. Abby, can we...
Guys, can you give me a minute?
We didn't get a chance to talk again last night.
I don't think we should.
Talk?
No.
Ever?
Oh, if wishing made it so, Jed.
Look.
I don't think it's a good idea for us to talk about this now.
Why?
Because you gotta focus on Columbia.
I can do two things at once.
You don't have two things at once. You have 92 things at once, and one of them is 5 hostages in Colombia.
Yes, and I'd like to go about my day without this black cloud around me, so I'd like to talk now.
And I'm saying this is a longer conversation than that, and I don't want you all over the place, and we could talk about it later, and you should focus.
What are you, my Zen master? Can I be in charge of my own mind?
Let me tell you something, jackass. Get as chippy as you want if that makes you feel better. I am your wife. I love you. You have a crisis. You have to deal with it. When it's done, we'll talk.
I feel better already.
I'm on hold. I'm on hold. I'm on hold. I'm in
in some hellish hold world of holding.
Josh?
I'm on hold.
So call us and tell us when the power's back on.
They did call us.
What happened?
I'm on hold.
I'll wait with you.
That'll be a lot of fun.
So you never told me why this poll is different.
Hmm?
You never told me why you're interested in these particular numbers.
There are 5 congressional districts that are concerning me.
Which districts?
Kentucky 3rd, that's Louisville.
And Jefferson.
Yeah, Louisiana 4th, Missouri 9th, Missouri 6th, and Ohio 12th.
What's with those 5 districts?
The president last night announced a crime package that would, among other things...
Require a 5-day waiting period for a background check.
The 5 congressmen in those districts...
Are sitting on the fence.
Right.
So you want to know how the crime package polled in those 5 districts?
Yes.
If it polled well, you've got your gun law.
Probably.
And if it tanked, you got to shut up or lose 5 Democratic seats in the House.
Why do you ask me the question when you're going to have the conversation all by yourself?
You want me to hold the phone for a while?
I can hold the phone. Take the phone. Give me the phone. Why are you trying to fix me up with Joey Lucas?
I think you'd make a nice couple.
Fine.
If you got married, you'd be Joshua and Josephine Lucas Lyman. You wouldn't have to get your towels remonogrammed.
Thank you. The power's back on.
Excellent.
Yes.
What do we do now?
We wait.
How you doing, Ainsley?
My mouth is dry, my hands are moist, and I have to pee.
Okay.
Hey, you ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Let's go.
Call it off.
Here we go.
No, really.
Ainsley?
I'll meet him another time.
What other time?
Better time.
What's a better time?
Tomorrow.
Don't you have to absolve yourself of the humiliation visited on your family and the House of Atreus?
Yes, but I believe I'm going to compound the humiliation.
It'll never happen.
Really?
No, it probably will.
Hey.
Is he coming?
He's stopping in on his way from the thing.
You are in restricted airspace. Divert your course or you will be...
How you doing, Ainsley?
I'm concerned about peeing on your carpet.
Okay. Well, now I am too.
Tell her it's gonna be fine.
Your skirt's on backwards.
May I use the bathroom?
Yes?
Thank you.
Ainsley.
Hey. Good evening, Mr. President.
Is she here?
Ainsley Hayes?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where is she?
Well, she's in the closet, Mr. President.
Why?
She thought it was a bathroom.
Why is she still in there?
That's kind of hard to say, sir.
Why don't we get her out here?
Yeah. Ainsley?
Yes?
Ainsley, why don't you come on out of there? How you doing? We met last night. You were singing and dancing in a bathrobe.
Yes, sir.
Why were you in the closet?
I had to pee.
They won't let me smoke inside, but you can pee in Leo's closet.
Mr. President.
I appreciate you coming to work for me, Ainsley. You're an exceptionally bright young woman. Is your father proud of you?
Yes, sir.
I bet he is. Listen.
Mr. President. Sam.
What happened? Charlie, get the door. What happened?
Mr. President.
Did we lose the hostages?
The hostages weren't there.
What are you talking about?
Oh, God.
What are you talking about?
The radio communications we'd been intercepting on the SIGINT were wrong. When the Deltas got to the area, it was a dry hole. And that's when one of the 2 Black Hawk helicopters was shot down by a shoulder-mounted surface-to-air missile.
How many guys were on the Black Hawk?
The pilot, the engineer, and 7 Deltas.
So I've got 9 more guys now on the ground. We've got to get back.
Mr. President.
Sir, the 2nd Black Hawk went in and recovered the bodies.
They're dead.
Yes, sir.
I want the President of Colombia on the phone. I want a translator in this room right now.
Damn it! Damn!
sir.
How the hell did that happen?
It was bad intelligence.
You think?
Frente left behind a radio and a soldier at the outpost, and they were deliberately sending misinformation.
We'd never anticipated the possibility that somebody might try that.
Sir,
We weren't prepared for someone to try and outfox us with a stratagem so sophisticated, it's an entire generation beyond, hey, look, your shoelaces are untied. Is that how I just lost 9 guys to a damn street gang with a ham radio? They lured us there so that they could kill 9 American soldiers. Where are the bodies?
they're on their way back.
Where?
Dover, around 4 a.m.
Mr. President.
We have a secure connection.
Is somebody translating on the other end?
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, this is the President of the United States.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Mr. President, 90 minutes ago, the United States invaded Colombian airspace. 2 Black Hawk helicopters went into Trace Encinas with 20 Delta commandos on intelligence that the hostages were being moved. One of the Black Hawks was shot down. There were 9 military fatalities.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Mr. President.
I'd like to ask for your assistance in confirming that the 5 hostages are still alive.
The hostages are alive.
How does he know that?
How do you know that?
We have confirmation that we're transmitting to you through channels. Mr. President?
Yes.
I respect and appreciate your diplomacy in not yet asking me to release Juan Aguilar from prison.
I'm not going to ask you, Miguel.
I'm willing to do it at this point.
Say that again?
I'm willing to let Aguilar out in exchange for the hostages if you ask me to.
Well, I appreciate your making that offer, but I don't think that's a very good idea.
I agree with you, but I'm making the offer and I'm leaving it up to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Wait, Toby, hang on a second, Sam. You give in to terrorist demands, and that's the ball game.
I understand the principle, but there are real lives at stake.
It's easy to stick the principle of nothing's at stake, Sam.
Well, sir, let's argue about principles after these 5 guys get home.
Juan Aguilar runs one of the largest drug cartels in the world.
Sir?
He has produced $15 billion worth of cocaine in 2 years. He's murdered or ordered the murder of 8 Supreme Court justices, a pro-extradition prime minister, and 3 federal police officers in Bogota. And from his prison cell, I guarantee you, he orchestrated the kidnapping of 5 U.S. DEA agents and the killing of their rescuers.
I believe he did as well, Mr. President, which is all the evidence you need that it couldn't matter less whether Juan Aguilar is in prison or not.
I'm not letting him out. I'll share a cell with him before I let him out. I want military options.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Joyce, it's probably just another hour.
She'll bring the numbers here?
Yeah. Josh, how is this not a no-brainer?
Colombia?
Yeah.
You say get him home?
Of course I say get him home. Who doesn't say get him home? That should be the person who has to make the phone call to the families.
And who calls the families of the 9 commandos who just died trying to save 5 guys? It turns out we could have freed 6 hours ago.
That's not a good enough reason.
The good enough reason is you give in to terrorists, it gives them a pretty good incentive to keep terrorizing.
Not negotiating with them hasn't given them much of a disincentive.
How do you know?
Please.
You don't think they're going to kidnap another 5 people tomorrow morning and demand 12 months of free cable?
So you give them free cable.
How about the keys to the Situation Room?
You draw a line.
Where? She said about an hour?
On the early numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know where they are?
They were moved about 60 miles into the jungle at Villa Sereno.
What would it take to get them back?
Alive?
Yeah.
Mr. President,
What would it take to wipe them out?
The Frente?
Yeah. What would it take?
Mr. President, for the kind of victory Americans are used to, for the kind of victory Americans demand from a war, you need a 10-to-1 ratio. It was only after we built up a 10-to-1 ratio in the Gulf that we felt comfortable making a move. Frente has 20,000 well-armed, well-trained soldiers, each of whom has a financial stake in heroin and cocaine. We need to put 200 to 300,000 men into a jungle war, and I think we'd lose as many as half. Yes, sir.
You really gotta ask yourself, what's the point in being a superpower anymore?
I wanted to bring that book for the governor.
Truman biography.
Yeah, and you got a sweater for the plane?
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys should both take sweaters.
And then there's the repacking.
Good evening, Mr. President.
First there's the preliminary or the dry run, and then there's the actual packing. You're just going away for 2 days, right?
Guys.
Right?
What happened?
It was an ambush.
Oh, God.
A guy with a shoulder thing shot down a Black Hawk. Everybody's dead. 9 guys. Meanwhile, they moved the hostages 60 miles into the jungle where we'd need a pair of tweezers to get them out.
You want me to stay?
No.
I can stay.
No. I didn't make the decision to run again. I wouldn't do that without you.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that now.
When, Abby?
Jed.
I didn't make the decision to run again.
Yes, you did. If we're going to talk about this, let's talk about this. The moves of the last few weeks, the changes in last night's speech. This whole place is in re-election mode.
That's what we do, Abby. We run for things. From the day a congressman is sworn in, he's got to raise $10,000 a week so he can get re-elected. A president gets to govern for 18 months. We try to get people to vote for us, and in the process, we hope the people force us to do good things.
We had a deal.
Yes, we had a deal.
Yes, Jed. Look at me. Do you get that you have MS?
Abby.
Do you get that your own immune system is shredding your brain? And I can't tell you why. Do you have any idea how good a doctor I am and that I can't tell you why?
Had 1 episode in 2 years.
Yes, but relapsing remitting MS can turn into secondary progressive MS, oftentimes 10 years after the initial diagnosis, which is exactly where we'll be in 2 years. Do you know what that's going to look like if it happens?
I know what it's gonna.
Fatigue, an inability to get through the day, memory lapses, loss of cognitive function, failure to reason, failure to think clearly, and I can't tell you if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to get better. I don't know if it's going to get worse. But we had a deal. And that deal was how you justified keeping it a secret from the world. It's how you justified it to God. It's how you justified it to me.
Miss Bartlett.
Yeah. You sure you don't want me to stay?
Have a good trip. Call me when you get to.
I will.
I love you.
I love you too.
Bitch. 5-day waiting period, that's all. A person can't wait 5 days to buy a gun? Someone needs a gun right now, right this second. Isn't that something the public should be concerned about?
On the other hand, taking the feelings of gun owners into account, if you've got to shoot somebody, it probably isn't something that can wait.
Yeah.
You mind if I take off?
What time is it?
2 a.m.
All right, we'll call that a full day. But come in early tomorrow.
Yeah.
You all right getting home?
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night.
They're just preliminary numbers.
They're not gonna change.
No.
5-day waiting period.
It tested well nationwide.
Yeah.
58%.
I didn't need nationwide. I needed those 5 districts. Now we're gonna have to dial down the gun rhetoric in the Midwest.
Why not dial it up?
Because these numbers just told us that...
You don't know what these numbers just told you. I'm an expert. I don't know what these numbers just told you.
We know.
Really?
Numbers don't lie.
They lie all the time. They lie when 72% of Americans say they're tired of a sex scandal, while all the while, newspaper circulation goes through the roof for anyone featuring the story. If you polled 100 Donnas and asked them if they think we should go out, you'd get a high positive response. But the poll wouldn't tell you it's because she likes you, and she knows it's beginning to show, and she needs to cover herself with misdirection.
Believe me when I tell you that's not true.
You say that these numbers mean dial it down. I say they mean dial it up. You haven't gotten through. There are people you haven't persuaded yet. These numbers mean dial it up. Otherwise, you're like the French radical, watching a crowd run by and saying, "There go my people. I must find out where they're going so I can lead them."
Yeah.
We'll go through the rest of the numbers in the morning.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, Johnny. You shouldn't be out here without a coat.
I'm okay. Mr. President?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do for you?
No. Thanks.
Hey. I checked outside. I thought you'd be having a cigarette.
Let me tell you something, Leo. After heroin and cocaine, tobacco is next.
Great. Another criminal empire we can give birth to. There'll be speakeasies all over Chicago where you can get smuggled cartons of Marlboro Lights. I fought a jungle war. I'm not doing it again. If I could put myself anywhere in time, it would be the cabinet room on August 4th, 1964. When our ships were attacked by North Vietnam in the Tonkin Gulf. I'd say, Mr. President, don't do it. You're considering authorizing a massive commitment of troops and throwing in our lot with torturers and panderers. Leaders without principle and soldiers without conviction, with no clear mission and no end in sight. This war's at home. Its casualties are in our prisons and not our hospitals. The amount of money the American government is spending in Colombia is the exact same amount American consumers are spending buying drugs from Colombia. We're funding both sides of this war, and we'll never win it that way.
Leo, I can't possibly reverse I can't possibly reverse our position on negotiating.
No one's gonna know. You don't make another phone call. That happens someplace else. Santos is gonna be the one to let him out.
There were just 14 people in the room who heard Santos make me the offer.
Those 14 people keep bigger secrets than this.
You know what Truman Capote said was the bad part about living outside the law?
What?
You no longer have the protection of it. What's to stop me? 200 CIA operatives, black ops. 200 guys with no wives, no kids, no parents.
This your boy LD, long dick.
I send 200 operatives down there. Monday morning I read in the paper, Juan Aguilar is dead. What's to stop me?
We lost this one, Mr. President. It was bad intelligence, and we lost this one.
He was the Queen's rook. That's why I couldn't trade the bishop. It was over 6 moves ago. Arrange for their immediate release.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
If they so much as experience turbulence on their way out.
Yes, sir.
I want to go to Dover later tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Folks, take your seats, please. The briefing will start now. Folks, can you take your seats?
Good evening. Thank you for coming back so late. I want now to fill you in on some events that have taken place in the last 24 hours. When I'm through, there'll be representatives from the Pentagon, State Department, and Justice Department who will continue with your questions. Yesterday at approximately 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 agents from the DEA were taken hostage in the Putumayo region of Colombia by members of the Frente. Hold your question.
Hostages are out.
The demand
I'll call their families
Colombian
after this.
prisoner whose name we're not releasing at this time. President Miguel Santos, acting on his own authorities,
questions about drug use in general, and marijuana in particular.
Yeah?
Jersey girl wants to know if marijuana can make you sterile.
Is this Jersey girl asking the question or Jersey boyfriend?
Both.
Okay. Well, there's no evidence so far that marijuana has a permanent effect on the male or female reproductive systems. A few studies have suggested that heavy marijuana use may have an effect on male testicular function, but that effect would be reversible. So if Jersey boyfriend is concerned, he should mention it to his doctor.
Pixelad wants to know if marijuana can cause cancer.
No conclusive study to date has shown that it does. However, and this is a big however, cellular genetic and human studies all suggest that the smoke from pot is a risk factor in acquiring respiratory disease. So Pixelad wants to be able to walk up a flight of stairs without throwing up. You should put the bong back in the closet behind the Allman Brothers house where it belongs. Josh. What the hell kind of name is Pixelad? Josh?
I'm done?
Yeah?
Efficiency, Donna.
Yeah?
Efficiency and professionalism. We're out of here at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night.
Doesn't hurt the president's in Tokyo.
Yeah, well, there does seem to be a little less work to do when he's in a different hemisphere, but nonetheless.
Efficiency and professionalism.
With a healthy dollop of leadership skills, the well-placed, well-worded memo. Nobody goes off the reservation, everybody does their job. Turn off your computer, let's go.
No, I'm gonna stay and watch this. I think maybe you should too.
What is it?
Surgeon General's doing an online chat.
What's she talking about?
Decriminalizing marijuana.
See you tomorrow. What's she talking about?
Do you favor the decriminalization of marijuana?
It's not for me to say. I can tell you that marijuana poses no greater public health risk than nicotine or alcohol.
It doesn't share the same addictive properties as heroin and LSD.
Yet, bizarrely, to many of us in the healthcare profession, the law categorizes it as a Schedule I narcotic, while putting a government seal on a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, somebody didn't get your memo.
Yeah.
I need you to take a look at this.
What is it?
It's a transcript of an online chat Millicent Griffith just did, page 8.
Toby's headed to his office and Sam's on the phone.
I can't talk to him right now.
He says it's important.
I'm gonna be there in a minute.
The Allman Brothers?
Gets a lot worse.
Marijuana poses no greater public health risk than nicotine or alcohol. Doesn't share the same addictive properties as bizarrely categorizes as... And I quit.
Let's go.
Is she kidding me with this?
No.
When did it happen?
She finished 5 minutes ago. Talk me through the next 12 hours.
Well, these people got a story. I guarantee they called AP already. Carol, get me the wires.
Yeah.
It's too late for the Times and the Post, but LA and San Francisco will have it, and it'll be above the fold. The Today Show will lead with it. Russard's going to do a segment.
Toby! Guys, I'm in the Blue Ribbon meeting. I got labor yelling at me. I got a real situation developing over there. Got a bit of a situation developing here, Toby. What's going on? Read that.
Page 8.
Why didn't you call me? What was happening?
Yes.
So you could do what? When did it happen? She finished about 5 or 10 minutes ago. You saw it happen? Yeah. Why didn't you get me? What were you gonna do? End the interview. How? By ending it.
Listen, something's happened.
We know.
How do you know?
Josh was watching it in real time. I'm not gonna belay into the computer screen, Toby.
What are you talking about?
Surgeon General, what are you talking about?
Never mind. What did Griffith do?
She reversed our position on marijuana. All right, first things first. What time is it in Tokyo? 14 hours ahead. I thought it was 13. Eastern Daylight. So it's 14 hours ahead? Yes. We're sure it's ahead and not behind?
Guys, the clock's on the wall.
Okay, so it's almost 11 o'clock in Tokyo.
Yes.
Ginger?
Yeah.
Get Larry and Ed.
Anybody left in my office?
Be in the Roosevelt room. I'm sorry, 11 in the morning, 11 in the afternoon.
It's 11 a.m.
The Allman Brothers?
See, Brady. So if it's not a story until tomorrow morning, then they're not going to have it till tomorrow night. So we bought it then.
We bought 2 days.
How?
Plane ride?
When does he leave?
7 p.m. Thursday.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Local time?
Which local? Theirs or ours?
It will be 7 p.m. Thursday in Japan when he leaves. And he lands here when?
Okay, the flight is 13 hours long.
This isn't happening.
He's going to travel eastward from Tokyo, leaving at 7 p.m., so when he crosses the international date line...
He'll have traveled back in time to what?
3 a.m.
Which puts him down in Washington 6 p.m. Thursday.
He's going to land in Washington an hour before he took off?
Yeah.
And that's not a story that beats the Surgeon General?
Toby, they're calling for you over there.
I'm gonna go get yelled at some more. Josh, you need to get Leo. Call Tokyo.
Yeah. Carol's got the wires.
Thanks.
This clock should be in military time.
Yeah, because that's less confusing.
Man's going 150 hours. How can it be Thursday the whole time?
Listen, Japan is 9 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time.
Oh.
So I think this is Donna Moss. Could you locate the chief of staff for me, please?
What were you talking about before?
I've just been told by someone I believe that a full-page ad taken out by the Family Values Leadership Council is going to appear in 22 newspapers tomorrow. It lists many prominent people, and it congratulates them for denouncing the movie Prince of New York.
So what's the problem?
The president is one of the prominent people they congratulate.
The president denounced the movie?
No.
Then how can they run that ad?
I have no idea. But I don't like who we're being congratulated by.
Josh. Yeah. Yeah, Leo. We got a couple of problems here.
I'm here.
Thanks.
We're doing this again?
Yeah.
Because I just got you off that little Bellman's thing.
Here's my problem. The AARP wants the president to put Seth Gillette on the commission, so does the AFL-CIO. It's important to them, and I think for that reason it's got to be important to us.
There's another good reason.
It neutralizes him.
He can't attack the commissioner if he's on it.
Which is why if we ask, he'll say no.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, but we can't risk that. First of all, we need him on the commission, or else labor and CNUs will be suspicious from the get-go. Second, if he's not going to be on the commission, it can't be because he turned us down.
So either we get him on the commission, or if we don't, we make sure it's because we never asked him.
Any chance you could take me to a mechanic?
Yeah.
So I can get that death trap.
Sam, he's on the phone.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Charlie.
Moshi Moshi.
Konnichiwa-san. Kaga desu ka?
Yeah, listen. Did you have a phone conversation with a movie producer named Morgan Ross?
Yeah, last week.
Can you tell me about that conversation?
He's got a movie coming out.
Prince of New York.
Yeah, they wanted to screen at the White House.
What did you say?
Well, they sent me the print the week before and I looked at it.
And you passed?
Yeah.
Charlie, was the president involved in that decision at all?
No, he lets me choose the movies. I just didn't think he'd like it, so I got Dial M for Murder Instinct. Sam?
Okay.
Maury got to him?
Well, there'd be fallout from women voters, and I'm pretty sure the AMA, to say nothing of the First Lady. Yeah.
Leo?
Got about 9 people on a conference call at several points of longitude. When's your first briefing?
An hour.
Think you're able to show support for the Surgeon General without supporting her policy?
Yeah.
Show me.
Try me.
CJ, did you know that Dr. Griffith was going to criticize the administration's drug policy last night?
I don't agree with your characterization of her comments. I think she expressed her opinion about the health effects of certain illegal drugs.
Well, she basically called for the legalization of marijuana. Does the president agree with her?
Wrong again, and I'd refer you to the Surgeon General's comments. When asked if marijuana should be legalized, she said, and I'm quoting, "It's not for me to say." And she's right, and it's important that people understand this. The Surgeon General's not a lawmaker. She doesn't set drug policy. The president does, and the president is 100% against legalizing drugs, including marijuana.
Yeah. Leo, I can take it to the next step. Okay. Okay.
Leo wants me to show her support.
Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah.
While I'm showing her support, what are you showing her?
The door.
Morning. DJ. Hang on. Katie.
Did you know the Surgeon General was going to criticize the administration's drug policy last night?
Well, first of all, I disagree with your characterization of her comments. She expressed her opinion about the health effects of certain legal drugs. Jeff.
I'm sorry, but didn't she say that
Actually, what she did say, and I quote, is that there has been no conclusive
Josh?
to date to show that marijuana.
Dr. Griffith.
You want to come in?
Yeah.
How have you been feeling?
Well, I've been feeling fine.
They're checking your blood pressure once a week?
Yeah, 130/87.
It's a little high. What about the right leg and arm?
There's a little stiffness.
Yeah. You know, the guys at GW did a fantastic job. It's a beautiful scar.
Have you seen my scar?
At the hospital.
I don't remember.
You were unconscious. How about your back?
There's some pain.
It's in your head.
Along with all manner of things.
Well, you know, Josh, just because the white supremacist didn't kill you doesn't mean that crap you eat isn't gonna.
I eat fine.
You eat like you're still in college.
I was in great shape in college.
You were 19 in college. You could eat Tupperware and your system would deal with it.
Millicent, what were you thinking about?
I was asked a question, Josh.
I understand, but your answers...
My answers were correct. Is anyone challenging me on the facts?
Not yet.
Well, they won't. As a doctor, I have an obligation to tell the truth. Come to think of it, as a person, I have that obligation as well.
The truth is different if you're a GP or a member of the Stanford Faculty Club than if you're the country's chief medical practitioner.
Well, no, I think truth is pretty much truth across the board. Never more so than if you're the country's chief medical practitioner.
Did you know that 69% of Americans oppose legalization, only 23% support it?
The number gets a lot higher than that if you ask people under 30.
Well, that's a shock. Did you know that the number gets even higher than that if you limit the polling sample to Bob Marley and the Wailers?
I mentioned that particular age group because an awful lot of them seem to be in prison.
Is that what this is about?
No.
The criminal justice system is nowhere near your jurisdiction.
I wasn't commenting on the criminal justice system.
Millicent!
I wasn't commenting on the criminal justice system.
Bizarrely, the law categorizes it as a Schedule I narcotic?
I was commenting on medicine.
I've had 3 conversations with Leo McGarry in the last 12 hours. The reason I've come here...
Josh, I'm not a politician, but it's not like I haven't lived here for 2 years.
CJ's up there right now giving you our support. I'm sorry, but we need you to resign.
No.
Dr. Griffith, I say this with all possible respect, but you serve at the pleasure of the president.
And I'll continue to right up until the moment he fires me.
Yo, I can handle that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Josh, see the doctor, get a lollipop.
Shifting gears for a second, there's a full-page ad that appears in today's Times
In fact, I've been told it might have appeared in as many as 22 papers this morning. The ad was taken out by the Family Values Leadership Council and praises, among others, the president for denouncing a movie that's opening next week called Prince of New York.
Yes.
You know anything about it?
No, I don't know what the hell's going on there.
CJ, the president didn't announce it?
Not unless he did it in the shower, but he hasn't announced it to me, and he certainly hasn't to the public. That's all. See you this afternoon.
Sam's here.
Thank you.
Good job.
Please tell me what's going on with this movie.
It's called Prince of New York.
Right.
There's been some controversy about it.
Sex and violence.
And religious imagery. Family and religious groups are organizing boycotts.
Right.
The studio phone banks Charlie because they want a screening, and Charlie passes.
Why?
Because he did. The producer goes on Imus and says Bartlett's a coward who's siding with puritanical censors and that Hollywood should know he's no friend of the First
And
Amendment.
then the Family Values Leadership Council took out an ad congratulating us for that?
Yeah.
Seriously? I quit.
Here's the thing.
Wait.
We've got these people.
Wait.
We've got the industry people.
Prince of New York is Morgan Ross's movie.
Yes, and we've got
Morgan Ross went on Imus?
Well, he did it by phone.
Morgan Ross called the president a coward?
He didn't call him a coward as much as
What?
he called him cowardly, which is different.
How's it different?
It's not, but still.
I'm gonna crush him.
CJ.
This guy's trying to get a little free media by screwing with us.
Look.
I'm the enforcer, Sam. I'm gonna crush him, I'm gonna make him cry, and then I'm gonna tell his mama about it.
You're not going to make him cry.
You wanna watch me make him cry?
I believe that you can make him cry. I'm saying you're not going to do it.
Sam.
I'm trying to tell you, we're meeting with these people tomorrow. I'll straighten things out with Morgan Ross. Will you just keep telling the press that you don't know anything?
That shouldn't be a problem.
CJ?
Thank you.
Danny Kincanon's on the phone, and I think you should take it.
Why?
He wants the president's reaction to a comment that was made about the situation with Millicent Griffith.
Who made the comment?
That's the thing.
Carol.
It was Eleanor.
Eleanor who?
It was Eleanor Bartlett.
Hey, it's CJ.
Toby, it's not that we don't understand your predicament. But I'm telling you, the commission will not be credible with our people unless they know there's someone on it who's a friend of labor.
And a friend of seniors.
The president's a friend of labor, a friend of seniors, a friend of small animals.
Toby.
We're running out of time. Lenny, we announced this thing at the State of the Union. We've got to get it going.
The State of the Union's your problem. Nobody brought us in.
Yes, and I, for one, am not sure I see a need for emergency-like speed.
Really?
If current economic conditions continue...
Forever? You mean if we never have another recession ever again? Then the fund can withstand all of 30 years before going bankrupt. Unfortunately, the actuarial tables say I won't be dead yet. So that's a tough needle to thread. I want to know that we have your trust, that whoever we do get will look out for your interests, and that you therefore will support the commission. Can I assume from your total silence and blank faces that you're all with me?
Maybe if we talk some more.
Oh, could we?
CJ.
Josh.
Listen.
She didn't?
No, Leo's gonna need to talk to her. In the meantime, you should start to walk back some of what you said in the press room.
Something stickier than the support I gave her in the press room.
What?
Danny Kincanon's quoting Eleanor Bartlett. She said, "My father won't fire the Surgeon General. He would never do that."
Eleanor?
Yeah.
You mean Zoe?
No, it was Eleanor.
Trying to export their way out of their own economic problems.
Yes, sir.
And by dumping low-priced steel on the U.S., you know what they're asking for?
A protectionist response.
They're begging for a protectionist response. Steel and mining employ 170,000 workers. They're not going to sit around while discount steel comes flying into. How you doing? They're going to want retaliatory tariffs. And you know what that means?
A return to Smoot-Hawley in the Great Depression.
A return to Smoot-Hawley in the Great Depression.
Well, you should go to Japan and tell them that, sir.
Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Leo, I'm walking over to the press and telling them the retaliatory tariffs are going to cost American taxpayers $800,000 for every job saved.
We're not taking questions. Let's get in the car.
What's going on?
Eleanor made a comment on the record, and you can't answer questions right now.
Eleanor?
Yeah.
You mean Zoe?
It was Eleanor.
When did this happen?
About 6 hours ago.
Why didn't you tell me 6 hours ago?
Because I didn't want you crash landing the plane. Let's get in the car.
Welcome back, Mr. President.
Josh, is there anything to suggest that there are a significant number of people who are inclined to smoke pot but don't because it's against the law?
No.
Then why do you think if it were decriminalized, there'd be a sudden stampede of people showing up to work stoned, dragging down the economy, and clearing supermarket aisles of Pringles and Twinkies?
It's not a reason to make it legal.
In a free society, you don't need a reason to make something legal. You need a reason to make something illegal.
Donna, parents are keeping drugs away from their kids with a whip and a chair. It doesn't help them out if we're... No, it's okay. It's just me talking.
President's back.
Does he want to see me?
Yeah.
Welcome back, Mr. President.
Thank you. I've had it, CJ. I've absolutely had it.
Sir,
what the hell is Danny Kincannon doing calling my kids?
Mr. President.
He knows better than that. They all know better than that. But Danny!
Sir, he didn't...
CJ, you're going to suspend his credentials for 6 months, and I don't give a damn. His paper wants to cover the president. They can send someone else.
Mr. President, Danny didn't call her.
I was told it was Danny.
Yes, sir. She called him.
She called him?
Good evening. Welcome back, Mr. President.
Allman Brothers, Josh?
How's the flight, sir?
Tokyo is willing to show economic restraint in exchange for a good-fielding shortstop and a left-handed reliever. Who's against her so far?
The Judiciary Committee, Government Reform and Oversight, Appropriation.
Why appropriation?
They control the Surgeon General's budget.
Who's coming to her defense?
The Cannabis Society, the Cannabis Coalition, E-Cannabis Unum, the American Hemp League, and Friends of Mary Jane.
Sir.
Yeah?
Sam's waiting to see you.
Yes, I understand I've been congratulated for denouncing a movie I've never heard of.
Yes, sir.
I gotta hand it to you guys. You pulled off a political first. You've managed to win me the support of the Christian right and a Cheech and Chong fan club in the same day.
Leo's seeing her tomorrow.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Charlie. Would you arrange for my middle daughter to come see me at her earliest possible convenience?
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Atomic Blade.
Ah, screw her convenience. Get her ass down here.
Right now. I'll have them drop it off as soon as possible. Thank you for your business. Call us anytime.
Yeah. What's this note?
That note?
Yeah.
It says that we should stand by the Surgeon General.
Actually, it says we should stand by the Sturgeon General.
Does it?
Yeah.
I meant Surgeon General.
Well, I think we should stand by her, too. I just wanted to make sure we were agreed that Smoked Whitefish was pretty much on its own.
Toby,
She's here.
in the lobby.
You with the ratings people?
Soon. What's the food for?
Today's attempt at ensuring our future.
What's your plan?
First thing I have to do is be nice to a liberal Democratic congresswoman.
Will that be hard?
Well, it was when I was married to her.
Hey,
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. You look fantastic.
thank you. How have you been, Sam?
Sam's great.
Fit as a fiddle, Andy. Although, to tell you the truth, I found...
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Hi,
How you doing?
Congresswoman Wyatt.
Yes, indeed.
You're growing into that title very nicely.
This is going someplace hysterical.
Huh. Yeah. Labor wants Gillette on the commission.
Yes.
So does the AARP.
Yes.
Very important to them.
Yes.
You know why?
Because they've been suspicious of the commission since you announced it and want one of their people protecting their interests.
We're one of their people.
Have you had an easy time convincing them of that since you announced the commission?
No. But I bring you here. And we sit and we have coffee and we have Danish in the hope that calmer and, dare I say, prettier heads prevail.
Oh, I miss patronizing sexist Toby.
I was referring to myself.
You don't want to ask Gillette?
Nope.
Because you think he might say no.
Right. This is really important, Andy. Can you help us?
No. Toby?
Close the door. Put the Danish down.
Dial M, a fine film.
I know it well.
Ray Milland, Grace Kelly, Robert Cummings.
He likes the part where the guy looks for the key.
And what was the other one about?
Prince of New York?
Yeah.
It's an updated version of Dostoevsky's The Idiot, which tells the story of a Christ-like epileptic young man who embodies goodness but encounters sex, crime, and family dysfunction.
Hard to imagine why you didn't think the president would enjoy that, Charlie.
Well, he would have especially enjoyed the scene where the Prince Michigan character has a seizure while engaging in an erotic fantasy in a Long Island church.
Charlie, please don't say the word erotic in the Oval Office.
I'd be perfectly happy never to say any of those words anywhere ever again.
John Williams as Chief Inspector Hubbard.
Not to mention...
Excuse me.
Ellie.
I was told my father wanted to see me.
Let me ask you this. Red meat has been found to cause cancer in white rats. Maraschino cherries have been found to cause cancer in white rats. Cellular phones have been found to cause cancer in white rats. Has anyone examined the possibility that cancer might be hereditary in white rats?
Let me tell you something. I'm not 100% sure we've ruled that out.
Dr. Griffith?
I'm on.
Congratulations, Millie. You're now the pamphlet girl for every right-wing fundraising cause. That interview's got to be worth at least 20, 30 million bucks in contributions from people who think you're going to distribute dime bags of Hawaiian cents at junior high schools, along with condoms and fornication manuals.
Can I say I was never given a fornication manual, so...
You think this is funny?
I think that we're spending $1 billion a year keeping more than 40,000 people locked up.
That's not
I know that's not my jurisdiction, which is why I never commented on decriminalization.
6 different committee chairs, 3 in the House, 3 in the Senate, are all talking about hearings.
What are they gonna find?
They don't need to find anything. They just need to say your name and drugs as many times as possible on television. I don't think you said anything wrong. Nobody with a brain thinks you did anything wrong. And I'd like to do the right thing all the time, but I can't. I can't let us get bogged down in this crap. Government will stop. This will be what we do for 2 months, and there are more important things than that. I'll take the heat from the First Lady, but I want your resignation by 8 o'clock tonight, or the President's gonna fire you. I've got a meeting.
Thanks. Zoe said you were thinking about oncology.
Excuse me?
Zoe said you were thinking about oncology.
Yeah, or neurology.
He's just tied up in this meeting down the hall.
I'm fine.
He said he should be back any minute.
I'm good, yeah.
You like medical school?
I do. I like my professors. I have a pathophysiology professor who teaches clinical skills by...
Eagles moving.
Retaliatory tariffs on steel imports are a disaster. Anyone wants to check my math, they're more than welcome to. Anybody who wants to shove the Golden Gate Bridge up Japan's ass, they're more than welcome to do that too.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ellie, thanks for coming.
Hi, Dad.
Come on in. Did you get down here okay?
Yeah.
Did you take an airplane?
An airplane?
Yeah.
No.
Helicopter?
No, the agents drove me.
That's because you go to school at Johns Hopkins, right?
Dad.
And Johns Hopkins is in Baltimore. I'm asking because Baltimore's a 45-minute car ride from Washington, D.C., and we hardly see you anymore. So I thought either you transferred to a different medical school, they moved Johns Hopkins, or they moved Baltimore. Are any of those things true?
No.
Okay, and this is accurate, right? This quote, "My father won't fire the Surgeon General. He would never do that."